Good morning.
or evening, or afternoon. I have no idea where you are, but it could be anything, right? I feel great today. I have had the most productive day, and it got me thinking, as it usually does. How comfortable are we? How comfortable have I been for so long when I didn't even realize that I was comfortable? You know? Because I'm reading a lot of stuff. And I just remembered that I forgot something. Hold on. I'm reading a lot of stuff, and I have been using my sweet old time on a book called *Sapiens*. I'm not sure how long I've spent trying to read that book, but I've read it for a long time because it's next to my bed, right? So I read it before I go to bed. When I do that, the last thing I think about is the things I read about in the book. So, 2 days ago, I guess it was 2 days ago, which was really fitting because of what happened today. It said that in the Middle Ages, they didn't shower, right? They would go for months without showering or taking a bath, and they would stink up the whole place, and they wouldn't care because everyone did that. Even the royals only showered or bathed rarely. So think about that where we are today, where we shower. Some people even shower every day, some every other day. When you get to 3 days, you start to feel nasty, right? But when we look at the cat or the dog or the horse or the cow or anything else than humans walking around, first of all, naked and never even taking a bath in the generals or in the common sense that we do, in the normal way, we don't really bat an eye. But when we do it, or don't, everyone freaks out because we have been conditioned to cleanliness, right? And now that has become something that we can't stand. Something as simple as not taking a bath or a shower. Because just thinking about it right now, I feel like this discomfort, just knowing what kind of foul stench there would be from my nether regions or under my arms or my clothing or anything, it would just smell up the place. And I couldn't bear that. So I was thinking about that today because I got up, I did the normal thing, I got in, took a coffee, sat down on the computer, and it dawned on me that I should have done something completely different, like going for a run or taking a walk or doing something. So I figured, all right, I should start this day off slightly different. I need to get back to the old morning routine. So I started to meditate. I have been really sloppy with meditation lately. So I sat down, I did the centering exercise, and I didn't really feel a lot afterwards. I did feel that I went all the way into my center. I got out when the whole, if you haven't tried it, you're basically getting guided through your entire system, all the body parts, and then you go into your mentality or you relax mentally, and then you go into your center, and then when you're in your center, you basically reprogram some stuff, and then you get guided out. And as you get guided out, it's really fascinating because you don't have any idea what's going on, basically. You're in this fascinating state, and all of a sudden you hear, at the count of five, you will open your eyes. You will feel wide awake, feeling better than before. And then you just hear this, and your eyes just pop out, as if someone just opened them for you, which in some sense they did. But after that, I figured I should do something more. I couldn't just sit there and meditate and then just go straight back to work. So I needed to figure out something. What could I do to challenge my status quo, to challenge the comfort zone? So I started reading about the comfort zone. And when you read about these things, some of it gets ingrained, some of it gets lost, and they say that if you read, most likely 70% of it is gone within 24 hours. It's in your brain, but you don't really think actively about it. So I started to reignite these knowledge bits in my brain. I got down my goals, and I figured, damn, there's a lot of things I have to do. I need to get going on these things. So I started. And it was uncomfortable because I was in a creative slump, right? I had no idea what to do, which is why I didn't do it. The more I did it, though, the more I pushed myself into it, the more I saw, what if I do this? What if I do that? If I took this and blah, 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 poof, all of a sudden, I had a field guide for 𝐶𝐲𝐵 because right now the season is upon us, right? So after that, I just continued my day. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I started to map out my goals for the rest of the week. I felt great about it. When I saw my daughter later, we had an adventure, and I felt energetic. And I realized that I have been out of my comfort zone all day. So now I'm going to start to test my comfort zone. Like a lot. Now, I mentioned that the season is upon us. What that means is right now it's almost September here in Norway. Probably September where you are too, isn't it? Here I am thinking that the actual months is something that is just localized to Norway. But the thing is, I have this hobby. When September arrives, I walk around and I see the fields and I see the mushrooms popping up, and we have dinner with fresh picked mushrooms, and we have the nature changing around us, and we are basically enjoying the last part of the year, right? And this season is interesting, especially because this has all of these other capabilities. Like, I'm part of a lot of communities that deals in psychedelics and in expanding consciousness. And because of that, I see a lot of new people coming in, and I see a lot of people just starting out. And I see a lot of people asking the same questions and asking how to do this and how would you do if this happens. If I jump from a 40-foot building, would I survive if I'm under the influence? It's not that bad, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of people trying to ask how to get into the journey. And that's also kind of tied into this. Because I realized, as I was walking around picking up mushrooms that I did not even know what was called, there was some uncomfortability right there. All of this is going to just be about the comfort zone and the uncomfortableness of not knowing stuff. Because, as I've mentioned before, you have these 4 levels of learning, right? You don't know that you don't know. Or the unconscious, you know, I'm not gonna even try, because if I do that right now, I'm gonna just waste time. You don't know that you don't know, and then you know that you don't know, and then you know that you know, and then you actually do it to such a degree that it becomes second nature, right? Competence, unconscious competence. So you have unconscious incompetence, unconscious or conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence. There you go. It's just harder to say that. That's why I kind of try to avoid it. Avoid the uncomfort zone. Basically, there's all of these mushrooms that I have no idea what's called, and I need to learn them. And so I was starting to map them out. Really map them out. I was like actually journaling them. Today I found this mushroom. I have no idea what it's called. I am going to learn whatever I can about it. I am going to spend every day with a new mushroom and try to figure out what the heck it's called, why it's called that, what it's capable of, and all that stuff. Because I'm trying to figure out what nature can do, right? But again, I don't know that. So it's hard to get into it. But how do you get into it? And what benefits can you achieve when you do get into it? Because I'm at a very fascinating place in my life right now. And I'm talking to a lot of people, my clients, ex-clients, potential clients, partners, team workers, all that stuff. I talk to people. And I see that I'm in a completely different place now compared to where I was 6 months ago. And if I go back to the 2018, like we do the reviews on Thursdays, we see where I was in 2018. This sounds like a very ego-driven thing, but it's very personal development, right? What could happen if you do one thing, you set out to achieve that one thing, and you stick to that one thing until you get to the end of that thing? What happens then? What happens when you get from the unconscious incompetence to the unconscious competence? Which is a fascinating thing. That's where I'm actually posted a post about this 2 days ago, and I got a little flack that I actually posted that because I wasn't supposed to apologize for changing, which I completely agree on. But the thing is, I communicate in a completely different way now compared to what I did before. And I didn't really realize that I had started to communicate differently because it has just, wow! Sorry, I'm just going to have to do this. Like, there we go. I didn't realize that I had started to communicate differently because it had gone incrementally to the stage where I just communicated differently. I had this flow of my thoughts. And all of a sudden I realized that it was unconscious competence. So what I did is I just started. And that sounds so easy, right? Like today, I've been trying to keep up the meditation practice for a long time, trying to do it every single day, no matter what. And that's the hard part, because sometimes you just don't feel like it. You feel like you want to quit. Today, I'm not going to meditate. That's it. That's the final end of it. And then you have to meditate or do something, like going to the gym. The days that you don't feel like going to the gym is the days that you have to go to the gym. But what happens when you do so, though? We talked about the neurogenesis, the neuroplasticity, right? Because when you try to do something that you don't do before, something that you did not do before, and it's a change in how you operate normally, you're basically going out of that pattern where you're just doing one thing the same way every day. All of a sudden, you just, boop, I'm going to try and go that way. And then you get pushed back, right? Well, if you continue to go into that every day, set a challenge, for instance, which is interesting. Come to think of, like, that's why I'm saying the 100-day challenge changed my entire life. Because if you do a challenge, you are forcing yourself, you're keeping yourself accountable to do something that is going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning, knowing that it is a process, and learning that it is that about this process, seeing what you are in the beginning, measuring you along the way, and seeing where you go, and all that good stuff. And then you see that this uncomfortable thing, all of a sudden it gets comfortable, and all of a sudden you can meditate, you can go to the gym, you can quit masturbating, I guess, stop biting my nails. I have tried for so long, and I have to get back into that. See, there's so many things that I'm getting aware of that I really didn't think about. That is just the normal, habitual way of being. But I see that when I started to change these habits, over time, I became a different person. And that different person started to see things completely differently. And that new person started to see friends differently and talk to friends differently. All of a sudden, there was just love and abundance all over the place. And so I started to attract new things. Completely new things. And I'm not sure if I told this. Actually, I did last time. I got a job. I'm not sure if I told you why I got a job, though. So let's just talk about that, because I'm pretty excited. I am against the whole 9 to 5 where you're trying to do something that is not aligned with you, right? Because that was also the whole comfort zone. I didn't want to go into a job because that was just the normal status quo where people had to do whatever they were told by their boss and all that stuff. So I started to avoid that at all costs. I tried to do my own thing. I got clients. I created resources. I set up everything within the business. I wore all the hats. And you get really tired about doing that. And especially with my personality, I like to do different things. I like to really test out all the things. So I needed a way to create time. I actually asked on this stream just a few times past, before, a few streams ago, that I wanted someone to reach out if they found a time machine. I found a time machine. This job is basically me doing the exact same thing I am doing right now without doing all the other things. So I'm just doing the things I love, right? Which is a win-win-win. Win for me, win for the people I'm working with, and win for the people who's working with the people I'm working with. You know? So with that, my brain has opened up completely. Because now I'm able to see where I'm lacking. I'm able to take my energy and see what zone of comfort am I currently stuck in that I can get out of it. And it feels amazing. I had a point. Yes. I reached a conclusion today. And I'm not sure if this is... Normally I do transitions pretty well, but today I'm just all over the place. the whole system of how we work, right? Because I got into this business because of the freedom, because of the time, because of I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. And I have received a lot of letters from people joining the freedom movement because this is, in all aspects of the word, it's a freedom movement. It's where you're trying to do something that is not commonly accepted, that people don't like you do, that you say things that goes against the narrative, you do things that goes against the narrative, and you have thoughts and ideas that completely goes against the narrative. The thing is, that narrative is starting to creak. It's old. The system is really, really rigid and old. There is facts within science and studies that says that if you have complete control over your time and your acts and tasks and your, what is it, tasks, team, technique, and time. Not sure if I said time 2 times. The thing is, when you have complete control and automation of your own time, you start to free yourself on all levels of your life. But when you go to a job where you get penalized for not following up, when you get penalized for getting late, when you get penalized for whatever, all the things that you should not do, right? Going off the script. If you go to school and you get late for the class, you get a, what is that? I'm not sure what it is in English. Penalized. Get sent to the principal because you got a little late. And then you get, it just compounds. Not sure why my English is so hard today. Compounds, right? And so you are getting conditioned to really love that system or know that system because that's the only system that you know, where you have to do stuff in a very rigid order and you have to become a cog in this machine from very early on, which becomes your comfort zone. Yes, I transitioned right back into the comfort zone. There's a new business model. It's not even a new one. It's called 𝐓𝐻, which is a result-oriented work environment. If that is the case, thank you, brain. Result-oriented work environment, which is basically where you have complete control over everything that you do as long as you do the things that you are supposed to do. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because when I'm given automation or automotion, when I have autonomy, when I'm the master of my time and the master of my energy and the master of the things I do, as long as I keep to this task that I'm given, something opens within me, right? I'm able to see things in a completely different perspective. I'm getting more energy because I control my energy all of a sudden instead of going into the workplace and going back there 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, all that stuff, and being penalized when I'm not. I'm really seeing this whole thing in a completely new perspective after I got this job because I was in the comfort zone for a lot of years when I was in the factory, when I was following the rules, when I was going by the system, when I was doing all those things. I'm not saying becoming a criminal. I'm not saying become some sort of a vigilant, not listening to the world or the community guidelines, not doing stuff that is going to hurt other people. I'm just saying that if people realized how comfortable they were taking every idea that they have in their heads from other people, external sources, from governments, from politicians trying to lie their asses off in order to get the votes, from everything that happens throughout your life. When people say that you have to do this thing, you have to get this job to get this amount of money so that you can get married, get a house, get a mortgage, all that stuff, and then work your ass off until retirement, right? That's where we were. And then we had this whole thing breaking out in 2019, 2020. And we are 2 years in, and all of a sudden the entire world has shifted. Now the 𝐓𝐻, the result-oriented work environment, damn, it's no wonder they just call it a 𝐓𝐻. It's more acceptable. It's more like people can come in and they can work in on their own dime, and they can work as long as they do the work. They can work as they choose. And so people are starting to open their eyes towards that. And I guess this channel is about that, trying to make people see that there are other ways to live. I know there's going to be some people in the comments already or reaching out on the DMs, because that's always a pleasant surprise, is going to say that, are you trying to tell me how to live? No, of course not. People complain a lot. They complain a lot about things that they cannot change. They complain about things that they have an issue about, but they're really not doing anything about fixing that issue, right? You have the power to change that. You have the power to fix that issue for yourself. And the way to do that is, unfortunately, with money. Most of the time. Because if you have the money to support yourself, you can do whatever you want with your time. If you know how to get the money to support yourself, you can start using the modern systems in order to get more capital to fund the dream that you want to achieve, in order to make the change that you cannot do without it. Trying to make this the best. I'm trying to make this clear without sounding like a capitalist pig. No offense, Steve Larson. The thing is, today we need money, but you also need to know that the system is run by more than that. Trying to make sense of this, because I know that there's a lot of people who just, what? The system is run by money, right? If you go to any government, any municipality, every politician, you'll see that eventually, if you follow anything, it comes down to money. Not saving cancer patients because the profits are too low if they give the new alternative medicine, all that stuff. You cannot do whatever X because Y costs too much, or you cannot earn as much, whatever it is. So I figured it's money. With money, you can do everything that you need to do alone. You can fight the movement, or fight for the movement, and fight the whole system that we have upon us. Because right now, people are fearing the future instead of trying to change the future. Does that make sense? Let me give you a little example. If you were to go back in time, let's say that you know now your memories, you know your past, you know everything that you've gone through, you know the pivotal moments, the milestones that you went through in order to achieve some certain thing that got you to where you are right now, right? What if you could go back and you can change one little thing that would change your entire future, that could take you from where you are right now and put you somewhere completely different? One act, one thing, one thought, one move in one different turn in an intersection. Who knows? For me, it would probably be just not answering the door on the 8th of October 2007. That would completely change my entire life. My entire timeline would change if I did that. In August 2016, if I didn't go to let's say that in the 19th of August 2019 or 2016, if I didn't say yes to go to the festival, I would not be sitting right here right now. So if you had the choice to go back and do one thing differently, would you do it? Most people said yes, right? So you know that it has power. You know that you can go back and change one thing and change everything. So why can't you do that right now? Why can't you do one small thing right now that is going to completely change your future? Because that's what it is all about, right? The whole comfort zone, the whole uncomfortability. When you do one thing differently, you are changing your timeline completely. And I can't overestimate. No, this is not an overstatement. This cannot be understated. You know where I'm trying to go with this. One little act. For me, right now, I have the website, thefml.com, right? thefmlproject.com. That became something completely different than what I thought. I started this in January 2020. I have a lot of websites, but I never really did anything to continue with them. This, I did one thing. One thing. I did a thing every day. Every day I did 1%. I added a page, I changed the headline, I wrote a blog post, whatever it is. I don't know how many blog posts I have today, but those blog posts have ended me up on interviews. They have gotten me in contact with people that I didn't really imagine I could ever speak to. And I'm sitting here today in a new job that is on the other side of a qualification process of a lot of people. That would never have happened if I didn't do that one thing. Answering that one email. Changed my entire timeline again. Am I making myself clear? Basically, right now, you have a choice. You can sit and take it, as most people will. They will sit and they will listen to the news. They will listen to the orders that are given to them. They will listen to the guidelines of the World Health Organization. They will damn. Pretty sure I just got flagged. Basically, they will listen to every external thing. It's that whole extrinsic and intrinsic energy thing. Some people will be motivated by external forces and rewards. Some people will be motivated by internal rewards and motivations, right? On goals. If you know that you have a future ahead that is so golden, so shining, so radiantly beautiful, that you could do anything in your power to get there, that why will outweigh the pain to get there. Right? You will walk on your knees through hell if that why is strong enough. And if you think that you can, as Theodore Roosevelt said, just to be a little cliche, if you think that you can, that's half the battle. But it's true. Because if you think that you can become someone that could help another person, or if you think that you can create something that's going to enable someone to have some better quality of life, if you think that you can set up something that is going to leave a legacy for you in the future, if you think that you can start thinking differently or doing one new habit every day, then you can. It's just about doing it. To get out of the comfort zone and do it. And then do it again. And then do it again. And again. And again. You see where I'm going with this. And then all of a sudden, you're in that new comfort zone. That is a level up. And a new frequency. And then you get aligned with that frequency. All of a sudden, you see that, holy shit, everything changed. I changed within, and everything outside of me changed. And then you can go to the next frequency. And the next frequency. And the next frequency. I have no idea how many frequencies there are or how many levels there are to this. But I'm pretty stoked that I have been fortunate enough to go through so many that I have so far. Which is why I'm sitting here talking about these things that most people probably don't care about. Let's be honest. Most people don't care about freedom because they think they have it. Most people don't care about personal development because they think they know everything. They think that they have reached it. They have a house, they have a job, they have all the things that they want in life. For some people, they have everything they want in life. They don't desire, they don't want anything more. They don't need anything else. But for those people who complain, there's a clue there. Because if you do complain, you have the power to change it. But to change it, you actually have to do some action to change it. You have to do something, take a step to actually make something of a change that is going to change your timeline just a little bit. But yeah, not sure if this was going to be a pep talk to try to make you do something. I'm not sure what I want you to do. I'm just saying that if you feel like you desire something more, the season is upon us. This is the perfect season to think about those things. If you think about something more and you feel called to do something, if you are sitting here watching this video right now when you came to this because you heard something that resonated deep within your soul, and you heard me talking about quantum fluctuations in a vacuum and a Planck scale, and that actually made sense, or that sounded interesting, or maybe that was something like, what the heck is this? I need to know something more. If something, there is a reason for you sitting here watching this. And if that reason aligns with what I want the people of this channel to have, then I guess it's up to you. That's anticlimactic, I know. It's all up to us, right? To map out what do we really want in life. And are we too comfortable to actually see that we can get there? And are we willing to get out of that bubble? To actually face that fire? To get to the other side and try to see if we can actually achieve it. And we won't know if we don't try. You know? So it's all that everyone has something that they want to do. And they keep talking about it incessantly. For instance, I know 3 people who can't stop talking about, I'm going to win the lottery someday. How about doing something that is going to enable you to not want to win the lottery? You know? Because you can do so much today, and I have done this so many times. I'm sorry for repeating myself again. But this can do so much. Just think about what this could have done in the hands of some people in the past. If Napoleon or Hitler or freaking Gandhi had one of these. Gandhi? Really? If the people knew what these things were capable of, where you can just go in and check out the brain of anyone who's ever lived, or go in to learn any skill that has ever been invented or done, or share your own skill, you'll be amazed of what happens. If you know how to tell the people what you can do, and they are searching for something that you can give them, just that little piece right there. If you want freedom, that little piece, if you can communicate something that you know how to do based on your unique experience and history that nobody else than you have, then you can communicate to people in a way that nobody else can, and they will get the help they need from nobody else than you, because you are the one resonating with them. Then there are 7 billion people on this planet. And this little thing is capable of reaching any one of them. Right now, 40% of them are online. 40%. And with the plans of every social media platform out there, this is just going to continue. They are going to continue to expand, meaning that it will only grow, meaning that if you think that this cannot be done because you're too late, or if you think that this cannot be done because everyone else is doing it, stop thinking it. You are unique. You have your own way of doing things. If you don't, check out the competition and make something up. Just make sure that you can help the people that needs your help, and do it. And that's it. From there, that's where I'm trying to make people see that if you can do that and create something of a bit, this is going to go a little bit into the business side for those people who don't know that, don't like that. I'm sorry, but the thing is, you are capable of having your own business, being your own business owner, creating something that is going to enable you to make a change, to make a positive change for people in the world, and change the system that is currently holding us down. Because you cannot do it if you're sitting there and receiving aid from the government, for instance. This has happened. I was one of those dreamers. I was sitting there receiving aid from the government, trying to, fight the government. Didn't work like that. I had to go through a lot of stuff to really realize that. I didn't even know you was live. I don't know the problem with YouTube. Well, YouTube is trying to shadow ban me. You see, I'm trying to share things that YouTube don't like me talking about. I don't know why. I have no idea what they don't like. And this is the problem. This is why we have this. thefmlproject.com/enter. All right. I'm trying to communicate with the people through email lists and stuff, because right now there is no real email list that has been built out, but it's there. People can get in and they can, in case we lose the whole social media, because I'm testing the waters. I'm putting out messages out there that goes against the narrative. I mentioned the WHO on this stream. I've talked about the whole freedom and the thinking and the power of choice and everything that we talked about last stream, which is also something that people ban each other for on the social media platforms today. If you speak up about something that is enabling people to think freely, it seems like every social media platform out there right now is trying to take those people down. I don't know why. But this is interesting. So thank you, Chris, for saying that, because it just goes to show it's actually happening. I'm putting out blog posts. I'm putting out Facebook posts. I'm putting out videos. I'm doing everything in my power to try to get banned, just to see how far does this censorship go, because it goes deep, right? It goes really deep. On other videos, when a person goes live, they send a message, went live. Yes, exactly. So thank you, YouTube, for showing me exactly what I've been suspecting all along. I want people to know that they are capable of doing amazing things. Not to, like, I don't like this example, but in 1969, there had to be a nation to get people to the moon, to get people into the space. Into the space? Into space. Today, one person can do it. And this past month, 2 people did it. So yeah, sure, I'm not gonna say that you have to compare yourself to Sir Richard Branson or Jeff Bezos, but the thing is, the possibilities of our time is limitless. It's literally limitless. If you know a little bit about how social media works, if you know a little bit about marketing and a little bit about copywriting, I would argue that you can create some massive ripples in the universe, because this is our time. Right now is our time. TikTok just came out. Relatively, it's still a baby, still trying to figure out the whole algorithm, and people are using it like crazy to build businesses, but people don't know how to build businesses. They will go out there and they will dance like a monkey for all the people to watch, and they will try to capitalize on these things, just getting paid by TikTok, for instance. And then that's their job, and then they're stuck looking like a fool for the rest of their life, trying to do things that they really don't want to do, just putting on that social condition mask, doing things that everyone else is telling them to do. While in all actuality and reality, if the social media platforms are not banning the people, people want to see authenticity. People want to see that people are actually real, that they can have feelings, that they can talk about real fucking shit, like us being way more than we are taught to be. All of these things. How this economic systems is fucked up. How the educational system is making us stupid. You know, my son is starting school. Getting into it for the first time. This Thursday. Like 2 days from now, my son is getting into the school system. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Because I have talked to a lot of parents. I've talked to a lot of counselors, therapists. I've talked to a lot of people. And it seems like my ideas is kind of not really mainstream, but still they find enough interest in it to kind of humor me. And sometimes they get a little, that's interesting, you know? So now, with what I've learned, with what I've found, with what my values are towards the whole educational, every system that I can think of, it's going to be interesting to see where this is going to lead. Because I want to create freedom people, freedom fighters, potential super beings of my children. I want to create critical thinkers that has self-empowered feelings, that they know that they can do things, that they have the power to create change in the lives of others and be themselves and not be conditioned by what everyone else thinks. All that stuff. Be creative and love life. Oh. Yeah, I hope he enjoys it too, Chris. I mean, he really looks forward to it. He really does. And I hope that just keeps it like that. I really don't hope that they are using a whole lot of technology to just, dumb them down. Because that's one of my fears, that they are using outdated systems in order to use the whole stick in the carrot system and reward system on the brain, and then trying to condition them to, the penal system and all that stuff. There's a lot of things that I'm having on my mind. I can't wait to see, because the world has completely changed. I feel so fortunate to be in a position where I can go back and see where it was before I got into this. When I was in school, we didn't even have a computer. Well, actually, we got one just as I exited high school, which was a big thing. I can still remember the time without the internet, which is insane. And I have so many friends who didn't really follow the trend. They didn't really want to see where that was going. They didn't really want to study it or use it for anything. And so they got left behind. They were still in the normal jobs and doing the normal things. And I fear that a lot of these people will get a hard smack on the ass when we come to the point where we're forced to go online. And all of a sudden, you have a lot of people not knowing what the heck they're going to do because it's a completely new thing. And the learning curve is just, or so they're taught. Because a lot of people say that I can't because I am not techie, but we do have YouTube and we do have a lot of very intuitive systems. So I am not sure where the whole block is. I think it's just, it comes down to the whole wanting and fearing the new out of the comfort zone. But who am I to judge? But I have to go. Not just because it's 45 minutes in, but for some reason, it's hot as hell in here. I don't know why. I don't know why people like Hitler are still being taught at schools. We just giving evil dead guys popularity. Bro, did you say that you were... No, you were not in Spain, right? I've seen some of your videos, bro. Love your guitar skills. In Norway, there is not 1 week where you can't see about 7 out of 10 newspapers or 7 out of 10 tabloid magazines that doesn't have something regarding World War II or Hitler. There will be Hitler. If we go into the whole search engine optimization, the keyword optimization, if we were to search for Hitler, just that one word, I can't even fathom there would be. Because they can't stop talking about it. Cool. Yes, he did some shit. But I'm not really interested in knowing everything that he did. I'm pretty sure that I know what kind of a flavor he wanted on the fucking toilet paper. For me, I found Napoleon interesting. The dude never gave up. Like, never. He fought until the real end. And when he stopped fighting, he was caught, sent to an island all by himself, where he got bored, and he got out again, and he started fighting him again. That dude, he never gave up. But I never knew that until I actually learned that myself. Which is something else. Like, we're just being fed the thing that they say that we are supposed to learn. Neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, epigenetics, all of these things were just foreign words for me a few months ago. A year ago, 2 years ago. I'm not sure. Time flies. Thing is, we need to really focus on what we learn so that we can take advantage of the time we're in. Because it is unprecedented. If anyone has ever read this Sapiens, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not read Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, you should definitely read that book. You will get a new perspective on where we were and where we are and where we're going. And then that will kind of start a whole new thought loop. And all of a sudden you're sitting there in all of these other books that's just going to continue to warp your worldview. And yeah, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. Napoleon Bonaparte. Did I say Napoleon Hill? If I did, I don't know why I've thought about that if I didn't say it. Probably, yeah. His book is right there. Napoleon Bonaparte. He was an OG. He was an interesting human being. Just did not give up. Serial killers as well. Yes, we need to learn about the people that did something for the good of humanity when they didn't have anything. Like Nelson Mandela. I don't have any... Yes, I have a book from him. Hey, I have a book on Napoleon too. I have a lot of reading to do, but now I can actually do that. With the whole job, I got myself new time and I can start to develop things. I can start to create things. I created the field guide for psilocybin and Seada today. One day. 27 pages. For some reason, something just happened today, but it's in Norwegian. So I'm sorry if you're not Norwegian. I'm going to have to translate it first. All right. I've seen it, but never read it. You should really read it. Chris, it's going to blow your mind. I think he did a good job. Noah Yuval Harari is, he's a good dude. But I have to leave. I have to end this. I want to do videos for some reason. I've been thinking. So I'm going to think about that some more. Trying to get into the editing. You know, that's going to be interesting. I do read a lot. Damn, I read a lot. But it's good because It changed everything for me. Now I have a library. I didn't have a library before. I do now. As always, thank you so much for being here. If you had any value of this at all, please hit that like button, because that like button does whatever it can to keep YouTube from trying to shadow ban us, which we just got reminded actually happened today. God damn it. We're in a very interesting time, and we just need to speak up. Everyone has to speak up. We have to kind of outweigh the people who's not speaking up, or the people who's speaking up against us. Because now it's a war. It is a literal war going on. There's light against dark, if you want to be all cliche like. We have some work to do, and if we don't, well, what you gonna do? At least we tried. You know. Have a fantastic day. I will see you on Thursday, same time, 2 p.m. EDT, 8 p.m. UTC plus 2. I think it's EDT. I'm not sure. I think, yes. I believe it is. Not sure. Take care of your freaking family. Love you. And I will change the whole ending because I don't like the fact that that's the only ending that you see. Take care of your freaking family. Peace.